Many years had passed since Abraham first heard the voice of God, a voice that had led him away from his homeland into the unknown. Now, with his hair turned gray and his beard long with time, Abraham stood under the night sky, the same sky where the Lord once promised,
Look toward heaven and count the stars, if you are able to number them. So shall your descendants be.
But Abraham and his wife Sarah had grown old, and still no child. Could the promise still come true? One hot afternoon, Abraham sat in the shade when 3 strangers appeared nearby. But these were no ordinary travelers. Abraham's heart stirred. He hurried to greet them and said, "Please, come in, my lords. Let me bring water to wash your feet and food to refresh you." One of the visitors, the Lord himself, turned to Abraham and said something that made Sarah's heart skip a beat. One of the visitors said, "Where is Sarah, your wife?" Then Abraham said, "She is in the tent." The visitor said, "I will return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, shall have a son." Sarah heard the words. She paused, and then she laughed, not the laugh of joy, but the quiet laugh of disbelief. Sarah whispered, "A child? At my age? After all this time?" She was nearly 90. She had waited, hoped, wept, and let the dream go. Now was the promise returning. Then one of the voices of the Lord from outside said, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Shall I indeed bear a child? Is anything too hard for the Lord?'" Sarah's face changes. Her laughter turns into awe and trembling. Her hand rests on her heart. And so the days passed, the promise spoken, the waiting resumed. But something inside Sarah had changed. She began to hope again. They had waited a lifetime. Now they waited one more season with faith. And just as God had said, when the year had come around, Sarah held a baby in her arms, a son, a miracle, a promise fulfilled. Sarah smiled and said, "God has made me laugh, and everyone who hears will laugh with me." They named him Isaac, which means laughter. Because this child was not only the answer to a promise, he was the joy of their old age, the smile of heaven on earth. And so, through faith, through waiting, through laughter and tears, God kept his promise. Because when God speaks, his word never fails. Is anything too hard for the Lord?